Sometimes, the funniest movies are also the most dangerous. Behind every laugh in Dumb and Dumber lurked chaos, pain, and moments that could have derailed careers. From a serious actor risking everything on a ridiculous role, to a comedian pushing his body past the brink, to unplanned stunts that left the crew gasping, nothing about this film's production was safe or predictable. Every iconic scene, every absurd gag, every jaw-dropping joke carried a story you never saw on screen. And every risk, every improved, every dangerous choice became part of the legend. This isn't just the story of a movie. It's the story of two fools, an unstoppable energy, and a chain reaction of mayhem that changed comedy forever. From drama to disaster, Jeff Daniels leap into comedy. Sometimes the biggest risks lead to the most unforgettable moments. Before Dumb and Dumber, Jeff Daniels was known as the serious guy, theater-trained, dramatic, and dependable, the kind of actor studios trusted with weighty roles. Comedy wasn't in his wheelhouse, and when the script landed, his agents panicked. "If you do this, you'll never get another serious role," they warned. Some studios even threatened to pull financing if Daniels accepted. But Jim Carrey believed in the absurdity, the chaos, and the comedic potential. With the Farrelly brothers backing him, Daniels ignored the cautionary voices and dove headfirst into the madness. The result was cinematic lightning. Daniels didn't just survive the role, he became a master of chaos, from mustard-streaked mustache to deadpan lines like, "Yes, my soda's flat. It doesn't have any bubbles. Happy now?" This performance didn't just prove his versatility, it redefined what it meant to go completely, gloriously unhinged on screen. Comedy on the edge, Jim Carrey versus his gallbladder. Sometimes the funniest performances come at the highest personal cost. On the set of Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey's energy was relentless, screaming, lunging, grinning, a non-stop motion machine of chaos. But beneath the surface, his body was sending urgent signals. Halfway through production, Carrey began experiencing stabbing pain in his right side. Initially, he blamed food or stress, but the diagnosis was clear: his gallbladder was failing. The pain was sharp, nauseating, and exhausting. Doctors insisted he rest. Carrey didn't listen. He kept filming, improvising, and smashing through walls, clutching his side between takes. Even in agony, he delivered the wildest, most chaotic performance of his career. Lines like, "Excuse me, this is a $500 plate dinner. Oh, okay. Put us down for 4 in case we want seconds," were born of sheer perseverance and pain. Sometimes being hilarious isn't just an art, it's a full-contact sport. Backing the perfect duo, Carrey and Daniels' chemistry. Sometimes a movie's success hinges on trust, not just talent. By the time Dumb and Dumber was greenlit, Jim Carrey's star was blazing. Ace Ventura had just made him a household name, and his asking price skyrocketed from $350,000 to $7 million, an unprecedented leap for a newcomer. The studio happily paid, confident Carrey was the film's face. But when the Farrelly brothers insisted on Jeff Daniels as his co-star, executives panicked. Daniels was respected, but he wasn't a comedian. His dramatic background made studios nervous. To try and stop it, they lowballed him, $50,000 for the whole film, a figure designed to make him walk away. Carrey saw the opportunity. He believed in Daniels, in their on-screen balance, and in the magic their odd pairing could create. He told the studio he'd reduce his own deal if Daniels could join. The $7 million was locked in, flat, no bonuses, no points, just to make the partnership happen. The gamble paid off. Dumb and Dumber opened at number 1 and went on to earn over $247 million worldwide. Jim Carrey didn't just champion his co-star, he championed the movie itself, and history proved he was right. The accidental icon, guys. Sometimes the funniest moments are completely unplanned. During a seemingly throwaway scene, 2 idiots, 1 van, a cross-country road trip, there was no script for what was about to happen. Then Jim Carrey turned to Jeff Daniels and said, "Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Guys. What followed was shrill, piercing, utterly unhinged. The crew cracked up on set, and the moment survived the final cut. It wasn't written, it wasn't planned, it was pure, brain-melting improved. The bathroom breakdown that broke boundaries. Sometimes the wildest stunts aren't explosions or car chases, they're painfully human. In Dumb and Dumber, during a romantic visit, Harry Dunn, Jeff Daniels, suddenly realizes he's been poisoned by a laxative-laced cup of tea. What followed became one of the most infamous bathroom meltdowns in movie history. But here's the secret most fans don't know: Daniels did it all himself. No stunt double, no camera tricks, no shortcuts. Given a way out, angles, closed doors, implied shame, Daniels refused. Daniels turned a toilet meltdown into a legendary, painfully human cinematic moment. The frozen pole that almost broke him. Sometimes comedy comes with a real-world risk. In Dumb and Dumber, the infamous frozen ski lift pole gag wasn't faked. Harry's tongue actually touched a solid metal pole in freezing temperatures, and yes, it got stuck. Production had to stop while crew members carefully poured warm water to free him, making sure not to tear skin. What seems like a simple, ridiculous joke was actually a small-scale hazard disguised as comedy, proving that some laughs come with a literal chill. The hotel that became a battlefield. Sometimes reality crashes the set. For Dumb and Dumber, the crew didn't build a hotel set, they rented a real one. During filming, the production didn't block off the entire building, so while Carrey and Daniels screamed through the lobby, launched suitcases, and ran down halls in tuxedos, actual paying guests were trying to check in. Complaints flooded in, and at one point a wedding party had to be relocated because the crew was filming near the ballroom. In a movie built on chaos, this was the one moment that wasn't acting. The frustration of real guests added a layer of genuine, unscripted fury. The snowball fight that got real. Sometimes improved becomes epic. During Dumb and Dumber, the snowball scene started cute, but Jim Carrey wound up and hit Lauren Holly square in the face, full force. There was no stunt double, no soft prop snow. Holly fell over for real and tried to recover, laughing through the pain. The fight spiraled into unscripted chaos, everyone joining in like a full-on playground war. The chipped tooth that made Lloyd look dumber. Sometimes authenticity comes from the smallest detail. That chipped tooth flashing in every close-up wasn't fake. Jim Carrey had broken it years earlier in a childhood fight. A cap had covered it, but for Dumb and Dumber, Carrey had an idea. He called his dentist, had the cap removed, and let the gap show. No makeup, no prosthetic, just a real broken tooth, and a performer willing to sacrifice a perfect smile to make Lloyd look gappier, weirder, and completely, gloriously dumb. The women who were almost supermodels. Sometimes irony trumps glamour. In the final twist of Dumb and Dumber, two stunning women pull up in a red convertible, asking Harry and Lloyd if they'd like to oil down bikini models across the country. With deadpan innocence, the duo sends them in the wrong direction, a scene that became instantly iconic. Most fans don't know it was almost a marketing stunt. The studio wanted real supermodels, Cindy Crawford, Kathy Ireland, even Elle Macpherson, to add celebrity appeal for trailers and posters. The Farrelly brothers pushed back, insisting on irony over fame. The death mobile, beauty and torture. Sometimes the star of the road is also the biggest headache. On Dumb and Dumber, the shaggy, dog-shaped van, affectionately dubbed the Death Mobile by the crew, looked hilarious and perfect on screen. But behind the scenes, it was a nightmare. Thick carpet covered nearly every surface, visibility was terrible, it weighed a ton, and the engine constantly overheated. Brakes were sketchy, and rain turned it into a wet dog-smelling hazard. Stunt drivers struggled with tight turns, stop-and-go traffic, and unpredictable handling. Every mile was an exercise in patience and pain. Yet the Farrelly brothers kept it, knowing the visual payoff was worth the suffering. The van was absurdly dumb, but driving it? Pure, punishing chaos.